Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 22 with me, Dan, and the Slothz team. We're at our home Grand Prix today, so we'll be hoping to get the absolute best result of the season, just like last time, if we can. And we start off with a quick event, just giving our teammate Table Share some extra focus. And because we've got quite a large gap now between previous race and Britain, we can fill it with plenty of activities to keep us busy and hopefully pick up some more research and development. It's not become apparent yet, but later on it will become quite obvious that the chassis department has been slightly underfunded over the course of the season and needs to be spec 2, so we'll be after this race doing our best to get that upgrade and save up as much money as possible. For the time being though, accumulated some more points, head over to Aero and have a quick look through here because we've got Austria coming up, so we want to get some more Aero upgrades for that one in particular. And we're currently about 6th there, sorry, in the list of Aero points. Well, here we go then for the home Grand Prix, and as I say, last time we actually picked up P7 here in Britain, which was our best result of the season by far, mostly because it was one of the only races where we actually scored any points last season, but that is a conversation to be left in the past. For the time being though, we'll see if we can improve on that 7th place and get up maybe onto the podium if we can. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell as well so you know when all of the videos are uploaded on the channel. And we'll get on with the starting grid here at our home Grand Prix, and it's home favourite George Russell alongside Esteban Ocon, surprisingly, on the front row, followed by Fernando Alonso, and there we are up into P4 there for the start of the race. We're followed by Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez, the lead Ferrari and Red Bull. And the other Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, he's alongside Charles Leclerc. Rounding up the top 10, we have Lance Stroll and Kevin Magnussen into the top 10. Behind them, we have Alex Albon, just outside of the top 10, alongside Pierre Gasly, followed by Daniel Ricciardo and Oscar Piastri. Some big names still missing from the grid so far. There's one of them. We got Robert Schwartzman. He's alongside Lando Norris, who takes a big penalty. Behind them, Yuki Tsunoda and Théo Pourchaire. For the penultimate row, we have Nicholas Latifi alongside Max Verstappen with a penalty. And finally, the two Aston Martins of Mick Schumacher and Zhou Guanyu. Well, here we go then. It's 5 red lights at the British Grand Prix. And away we go for the second time. We've got some fast cars at the back who'll be trying to push their way through the pack. Meanwhile, our eyes are firmly forward on what is now the back of Carlos Sainz, who manages to get past us into turn 1. We're under a bit of pressure now from Sergio Perez as well, as Esteban Ocon goes side by side with his former teammate Fernando Alonso, managing to come off second best there as we get passed by Sergio Perez, dropping us down to 6th. Now under attack from Charles Leclerc as we head down the whatever this straight is called, the Wellington one, I cannot remember anymore, as Esteban Ocon attempts to kill Sergio Perez in a racially aggravated attack. As we come through down the old pit straight, Ocon has settled down now and is allowing the Mexican to sit behind him, who was actually on the medium tyre, so he'll be going quite long into this race. Everyone else is actually on the soft right now as we come through Maggots and Beckett's. One of my favourite circuits, I must say. It's and that's not just a bias. Genuinely love this circuit, and you can see our jet fighter speed not quite enough at this point in the season, at least. Apparently, everyone else has decided to actually invest in catching up with us now, so we're not able to win on pure pace alone. We actually have to drive round the corners and actually go around them faster than everyone else. Harkening back to the chassis comment I made earlier on. Anyway, back on board with us for the start. It wasn't an awful start, but the three ahead of us pull away, and there's Carlos Sainz getting past us as we actually botch it up going through turn 1. Coming through turn 3, wide on entry with the Red Bull coming up the inside, and then he goes around the outside of us and gets the place as we come onto the straight. But never fear, we will get that position back. This was Esteban Ocon. He actually was outpacing the McLaren in a straight line, heads to the braking zone and just completely locks the wheel, decides no one else is allowed to use the racing line, hence his attack on Perez, and then carries on, just about hanging in ahead of the Red Bull. And here we go on lap 3. We've actually got Charles Leclerc coming down the inside of us into turn 1. Are we going to fight him? We just about keep it onto the circuit, but no, he has managed to get past. And now the crowd are cheering for Lewis Hamilton to try and get past us and embarrass us at both of our home circuit. Lando Norris battling away with Yuki Tsunoda further back. Not a great way to start the British Grand Prix. We've still got 10 laps to go, and you can see we are actually much faster than Charles Leclerc in a straight line as we come down the straight. Ocon up ahead, beginning to slow down, holding up Sergio Perez, which is great in some aspects, not so much in others, that he's going to be handing over the DRS. And here we go on Charles Leclerc now. Massive gain onto the back of the Ferrari. Round Copse we go, and up towards Maggots and Beckett's again. Entry to this corner and exit onto the straight is going to be of utmost importance. This section particularly, though, as you can see for the snap of oversteer, particularly difficult in this car, as I said with the other corners on other circuits later on, as we close in on Charles Leclerc and we go down the inside of the Ferrari. And we get the move done there as Charles Leclerc actually off camera does have a little bit of a wobble as we squeeze him out wide, and that was why he dropped back so quickly. But there we go, we're up into P6 once again. Fernando Alonso sets the fastest lap, and we go in hunt of Sergio Perez now as we rejoin on lap 4, approaching our pit window now. At this point in the season, the tyre wear is not particularly kind of this car, and we have to kind of adapt to that as best we can. But here we go. If we can make them hold together, we might be able to get one more pass locked in before we get to our pit stop. Sergio Perez, though, all the way to the back of Esteban Ocon, and decides not to overtake. And in doing so, we decide to wait for the time being and dive off into the pit lane. We'll see if anyone else joins us in here. It's not looking likely. It appears not. We are the first one in. Further down the order, though, Max Verstappen made his way up into P16. Lando Norris still around P18. I'm not entirely sure what he was doing that Verstappen obviously wasn't doing to get up to P15 already, but perhaps Lando's just having a pretty interesting Sunday drive. We put the medium tyres on and away we go. Rejoining on lap 6 now, Esteban Ocon, recently pitted and is now out ahead of us on the mediums as well. But his are pretty cold. This is literally the lap he came out of the pit lane. You can see that we got so much more grip here as we come down towards Copse again. And that Alpine does not have DRS, so he will really be feeling this when we get to the hangar straight. Running slightly wide there through Copse. I can see a lot of cars coming into the pit lane now. That's Fernando Alonso leading the pack into the pits as we have a massive moment there going over the sausage curbs in Maggots. Come round now onto the hangar straight. And this is going to be a pretty easy pass as we absolutely eat the distance away to the back of the Alpine. Down the inside we go. And keep it nice and steady on the circuit. Zhou Guanyu, who is notorious for going slow and getting in everyone's way, is into the pit lane, which is excellent news. You can see it's pretty crowded in there at the moment. As we come down, we got Alonso out on track. There's also a Mercedes coming out on track. Ocon is trying his luck, but no cigar for him this time. And we come out behind Carlos Sainz in P10 and George Russell in P8. Following these two rounds should be pretty interesting. We've got 2 cold tyres ahead of us. Yet again, ours are very nicely warmed up by now, but the Ferrari definitely has the cornering ability that we do not possess. Hence his ability to pull away much faster out of turn 4. So it is time to hang on to the back of him. Lewis Hamilton, though, actually looking interested in taking a position away from Esteban Ocon as we come right up to the back of Carlos Sainz, going through Kops down towards Maggots and Beckett again. Sitting right now, looking at the rest of the order at about net P4, because remember, Sergio Perez has not come into the pit lane yet as he started on the mediums. That is an interesting strategy to go that far into this race on a slow set of tyres, and you'd hope that he'd want to get onto the soft fairly soon. As we go down the inside of Carlos Sainz, keep it onto the circuit. Excellent work down there. And now our next target is George Russell up ahead. And then finally, Fernando Alonso, assuming that Sergio Perez is going to be slightly compromised by his late stop, as Carlos Sainz decides he's not had enough just yet. He tries to go around the inside of turn 1. But as you can see, we got him. Lewis Hamilton actually gets past Esteban Ocon there as we rejoin the action on lap 10. Up ahead, George Russell. Closing in extremely fast now as we come up to the back of the Mercedes, but not quite close enough on this occasion. Sergio Perez is in the pit lane at last, and Fernando Alonso will take the lead of this race. But where will we come out in relation to Perez, or where will Perez come out in relation to us? That is the question. We set fastest lap. For some reason, he's decided to go onto the hard tyre with just 3 laps to go. An absolutely sickening decision if you're a Red Bull fan to see something like that happen. He's now got several cars that are around about the same speed, if not faster, sat behind him. And he's going to have to try and make it as far as he can into this race without losing any positions. As we try another go at George Russell, but again, the Mercedes in the corners is just far more superior as we join on lap 12. Just 1 lap later, looking down the order, recovery. Somehow Lando Norris has now got back ahead of Max Verstappen and is now P10 in the points behind the 2 Alpines, who are at the moment our closest competitors in terms of the championship. Max Verstappen just takes P12. He loses P12. He's not got P12 back. He stays in P13. No, he's now got P12 again. Excellent work for Verstappen. And we'll continue on our pursuit of P2. With any luck, by the end of this race, either Fernando Alonso or George Russell blows a piston and we're able to take a higher podium position than one of them. I don't think we're going to get that lucky, though. As we come through, Maggots and Beckett's again for the penultimate time, taking a lot of curb there, getting very bold with our decisions on turn-in now. This is a race we'll be targeting for a win next year if the regulation changes actually occur. As we go down the inside of George Russell, and we're so close this time we get past him before we even reach the corner. George Russell will be absolutely fuming at that, that he wasn't able to get into P2 and stay there. Fernando Alonso 3.5 seconds down the road. It's going to be a defensive drive all the way to the line now with George Russell in hot pursuit behind us. As we come through turn 1, we managed to lose him slightly there. We won't be able to break DRS unless there's a massive accident behind us. And he has to retire from the race, or at least trundle across the grass. So he's going to be less than half a second behind us as we come onto the Wellington Straight, which I finally remembered the name of. We go defensive, but it doesn't look as though he's actually close enough to challenge as we come through towards the old pit straight. Eking out the lead just ever so slightly. I think if we actually did have this overtake done about 3 or 4 laps earlier, we may have had a chance at the win here, trying to take that away from Fernando Alonso, who, if I remember rightly, we were actually fighting for points here last season. That was a very long time ago, so my memory is probably not serving me that well. But if it was, then excellent. The rivalry continues. Still no word on whether he retires at the end of this year. I hope we have an F1 steady season for the final season on the channel for F1 22. And we'll be gearing up soon for F1 at 23 as we pop a drift there around one of the final corners. Come down towards Club. And come across the line any second now. George Russell closes in, but it's not enough at the line, and we cross the line in style. We somehow have an accident and turn the car without holding onto the wheel at all. George Russell, just in the wing mirror there, you can see, is parked on the grass alongside us, giving the crowd an excellent photograph opportunity. But there's Fernando Alonso. He finally gets his win, and he'll be very happy about that. Somehow his Alpine helmet still present there. I'm not sure if McLaren have noticed yet. I mean, there's a few of them looking at it now. Maybe they'll ask him to change it. Regardless though, Fernando Alonso becomes yet another race winner for this season. We'll hope to join that exclusive club, as there we are on the podium, and hopefully we'll be there a few more times as well this season. One can only hope. On to the race results then. And here are the race results. So Fernando Alonso takes the win, followed by us in P2, and George Russell just misses out. He's now P3. Then we have Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc with the fastest lap, Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon, Lewis Hamilton, and Lando Norris makes his way into the top 10. So over in the Drivers' Championship, Fernando Alonso takes first place ahead of rival Max Verstappen. Then we have George Russell, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. We move up into 7th ahead of Lando Norris. Then Lewis Hamilton and Esteban Ocon round out the top 10. Further down the order, we have Lance Stroll, Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, and Oscar Piastri round up the point scorers, followed by Nicolas Latifi, Teo Pourchaire, Kevin Magnussen, Robert Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, and Zhou Guanyu. Finally, no changes here. Red Bull still lead ahead of McLaren. Then it's Ferrari, Mercedes, Slothz, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Williams, Haas, Alfa Romeo, and finally Aston Martin. That's all for now. We'll catch you next time for Austria.